Hey developers, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into something every developer needs, debugging in Visual Studio Code. Yes, we are talking about breakpoints, real-time logs, and we are talking about debugging app builder through the Visual Studio Code. And don't go anywhere because at the end of this video we are jumping into a real working demo where we are going to debug a app builder action using Visual Studio Code. If you have not subscribed yet or explored my other videos, now is the perfect time. Check out the channel, dive into more awesome content, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay updated with all things related to the app builder and Adobe Commerce. Alright, let's get everything ready so you can debug your app builder action directly inside Visual Studio Code. Follow along step by step. This would not take long, trust me. It will make your life a whole lot easier. So first thing, you have to initialize the app using the init command. After initializing the app, so next thing you have to fix the aio-cli-plugin-app-dev version. So first you uninstall the aio-cli-plugin-app-dev and then reinstall 1.1.2. Once this is done, you have to create a launch.json. So in your project root, create a directory called vscode and create a file name launch.json. Content of the file can be found from the official guideline. So I have given the link in the description of this page. So just copy the entire content and put it in the launch.json. After that, you have to make sure the app builder action that you want to debug, you have to make sure you make require-adobe-auth equal to false. Once this is done, in your project root, you have to create a file name webpack-config.json and you have to put this content module.exports devtools source map. So make sure you have this file and have this same content mentioned in the description. After that, you have to build the application forcefully, and that's all basically. Alright, now that we have set up everything, from initializing the app to the configuring debugging settings, it's time for the most exciting part. Let's start the demo. So in my Visual Studio Code, I have already set up the project. So the expectation is that I want to debug this index.js, which is under the generic action, and I have already set it up few breakpoints, and once I execute this index.js file, since this breakpoint should be recognized and I should able to move from one breakpoint to the another breakpoint, and I should able to debug each and every variable inside this JS file and able to know what exactly the values of those variable. So first thing what I have done is that inside the project root I have created the .vscode, and under that I have created the file called launch.json. For the content, I have copied the content from the official doc. Next thing what I have done is that the creation of the webpack-config.js, and here you have to provide the content like module.exports and devtool source map. Next, you have to make sure that your action is require-adobe-auth equal to false. So in my case, I want to debug the generic and the index.js, and for that I have made sure that require-adobe-auth equal to false. So after doing this, next thing you have to make sure that you have the correct Adobe CLI plugin app-dev module installed in your local. So I uninstall this module and install the latest one. So when I am recording this video, the latest version is 1.1.2, and after that I just rebuild the application using force rebuild command. So now I am all set. So next thing what you have to do is that you have to go to the run and debug console, and here you have to select app builder debug actions. So make sure this option is selected, and after that you have to click on this green button which will start debugging. So once you start debugging, so you will see that debugging attached, and here there would be some process associated with that. So that means we are in the correct path. So I come back to the my index.js. So here you can see my breakpoints are visible now, and let us execute the generic action. So here you see the generic action is not providing any output, and the breakpoints are getting recognized, and my first breakpoints are first breakpoint is getting executed, and the execution is holded in the first breakpoint. And here I can move ahead from one breakpoint to the another breakpoint. And in the left hand side, if you see the variables that are we have used for the debugging, so those variable values are getting logged here. So let's move ahead. So suppose I want to know the value of this response. So here you can see that the value of the response I can inspect, and I can know what exactly the value of the response. Other way is that you select a constant or variable, right click on that, and then evaluate debug console. So and that in that way also you will able to know the exact value of the constant or variable. And now like once the breakpoint is getting executed, I'm able to see the response in my browser. So as per the expectation, the debug points are getting recognized, the breakpoints are getting recognized, and we are able to move from one breakpoint to the another breakpoint. And this will helping us to debug the entire file and find out exactly what is happening. That's all in this video. Hope the information was useful. If you have any clarification, any doubt, please feel free to reach out.